future trends, deep insights, industry leaders. This is the iGaming Next podcast with your host, Pierre Lindh.
Phil Pearson, back on the podcast. How are you?
Hey, good. You?
Yeah, good as well. We were just saying here before that we were asking when is this podcast going to be released, and it's a funny thing in Malta that it's shut down at the moment in Malta,
Yeah.
which means that half of the island is literally non-functioning right now.
Normally the bad half if they need a month off.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty funny. We've always been joking. I mean we've been running this event company for the last 9 years now, and every August for 2 weeks, it's like impossible to get anything done. And we were saying like if I was running a marketing agency, for example, I would just double my fees and hire loads of staff during these 2 weeks and just steal as much clients as possible. But apparently that's not how things are done here.
Yeah, it's like Uber on Christmas Day. Just double your prices because everyone wants a taxi.
Exactly. And there you go. Yeah. But yeah, how's everything on your end, otherwise, Phil? CEO, iGaming Group, obviously, your life is good in right in the peak summer. COO, yes.
Yeah, not CEO. God, no, that's not ready for that yet.
No,
everything's
CEO.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, this year is huge for us. We're up massively for the group, for the platform, for the technology. And obviously we've launched a product which we're speaking to you about today, but the overall for us is very positive. But again, I'm not going to try and sell ourselves, but it's been a really good year.
But you're pretty good. I mean,
yeah, we're happy.
You don't need to be shy. You don't need to be shy, Phil, in this podcast.
All right, we're up by like 3 times on what we were at this time last year. So 300%.
There we go. Okay. All right. There we go. That's
it's all on LinkedIn anyway. Come on.
Yeah. Good. So Phil, you mentioned that there's a kind of a service that you are launching here today, verified streamer. Let's just say, I mean, today's topic is just fake streaming and how to counter it in general. But let's start with just what is the verified streamer and why are you launching this service?
Yeah, so it came about by a chat on LinkedIn with, I think you commented in it, but there was also like Casino Grounds, Big Win Board, a lot of people in the industry from game providers. A lot of them were not happy with kind of how their games are perceived to be played on some streams. So you see some streamers betting like $50,000 bonus buys, this kind of thing, which even on the biggest of VIPs I've seen at casinos, no one's betting that high. So it came about as a chat where with the way regulation is going, especially in the UK and foreseeable future, Malta, also Netherlands, Germany, this is going to be something that's going to start creating problems. So having affiliates and having traffic coming in, which is being promoted as part of an irresponsible way of gambling, because this isn't real money, kind of generates the belief that gambling is more, not sinful, but more anti-people friendly than it is. So the plan for this site was to take people in the industry who know kind of how it works, who know what the problems are, what the pitfalls are, and who have a vested interest in free and fair gaming and affiliation and Twitch and YouTube, by creating something that would, in essence, regulate the market, but only to the people that wanted to be regulated, if that makes sense. So the fake streamers aren't going to want to do this. They're not going to try and verify. But because of that, you'll pretty much immediately know that they're not playing for real. So the plan for it is basically simple, to just identify the good people who are taking it seriously, who are being responsible with it and are playing for real money and showcasing an actual kind of example of what gambling is like.
Right. And
complicated.
But it's a bit of a hot topic. I noticed that there's one of the biggest Twitch and YouTube profiles in the world, H3, has been YouTube streamer for forever. He's been kind of attacking this subject now recently in the last 2 weeks with just gambling streaming in general. And it seems that he's bringing on board some of the big Twitch profiles that have been starting to basically stream casino games lately and kind of grilling them in this context. I just thought it was quite interesting because you hear an outsider's perspective on how gambling is perceived, and they are very much against any form of streaming, even if it's fake money, real money, and so on and so forth. I know that you just had a very brief chance to kind of have a look at this. I don't know if you had any like thoughts on the H3 kind of discussions there. I know you haven't seen the whole thing, but
I got 6 minutes of it before. So after you sent me the video, I got like 6 minutes to listen to it. A lot of their points are quite good. So I kind of get the age gating side. I get the promoting something that isn't a healthy lifestyle side. But the truth of it is Vegas promotes everywhere. There's gambling promoted. I mean, every football team in the UK is sponsored. As much as you can agree or disagree that that's a good thing. Personally, I'm on the side of they should have a watershed on gambling adverts in the UK. So anything after 9 o'clock, fine. But sponsoring the championship with Sky Bet for me is probably a bit questionable. But again, these guys make some good points. The problem that they've got is they don't know how the industry works. So you see a lot of people on this talking about, they can set it so streamers can win. They can do all of these kind of things on the casino side. It's just not possible. You can't change how the games work. So a lot of what they say is valid.
If you're for that, there would be like regulation on gambling adverts in the UK. Early in the morning, during the day, and so. Like, sure. why should streamers be able to stream on Twitch at any hour of the day?
If Twitch implements an age system, or YouTube implements an age system where you need to be ID verified to watch it or something like that, that would be the ideal way around all of this. So then you get rid of anyone under 18. It can tailor then the adverts on Twitch. You can tailor the marketing of Twitch to these people, and then you can have this sub community. I mean, if you think about it, there's lots of sites like this that exist in a similar way. It's just that gaming has kind of seemed to get around all of them by not having as much of a regulation in place as any other vices like alcohol, cigarettes, anything like that.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. So you essentially exclude the underage segment by age verification to potential tools at Twitch and YouTube, which is obviously impossible to implement on a national TV station.
Exactly. So TV station, you can just do like a watershed 9 o'clock rule, but Twitch, I mean, there's systems like Jumio, which can verify your ID in 8 seconds. So we use it on our platform, but there's ways to do this so quickly when people sign up for next to nothing for Twitch, and because of the income they generate off the gaming section, this will just solve every problem they will ever have.
Okay, fair enough.
That's just a personal opinion.
Yeah, send an email to Twitch about it.
Please don't come after Twitch.
Right. So verifydstreamer.com then, Phil. Like as the COO of iGaming Group, you're a busy man. This is you have a full-time job. I mean, supposedly you have some form of hobby besides your job as well. I don't know, but you have been very adamant and clear that this is not a profit-driven concept that you are starting here. This is kind of for the community, by the community in a sense. Can you talk a little bit about why did you start this project, and why? I mean, I'm assuming this is taking and will take a considerable amount of time as the verified streamers grow. How are you going to motivate that when it's not a non-profit?
I mean, don't tell the boss, but what we've kind of done is use some company resources alongside. So basically we've got, because everyone who has a platform has KYC agents and verification agents. So they're all kind of accredited or trained up to different standards of regulations around the world. So we're using 2 of our agents, or 3 of our agents now, who are doing this on the side of their current job. So they're basically verifying in depth all of the streamers. So that's not something I'm doing personally. So
it's an iGaming Group project, you could say. It's not a Phil Pearson project per se, or?
No, it's not. It's not really an iGaming Group product, because we're using staff. We're paying them on the side of their current job. So it's coming from the verified streamer kind of setup, but that's been invested into by myself, by our company, and by a couple of other people who are hopefully going to come on board and help with just a little bit of the funding for the first 6 months. So the plan for income is we're going to charge the streamers to be verified, because obviously getting verified should cost a little bit of money. Be up to about €100 a year. We're doing the first 2 months for free because obviously we want to show that we're not making any money. And the only full-time employee we've got is a woman called Jade, who we got from another company, who has experience in both being a streamer and working at a place that was known. I've got to think carefully around an NDA here, but that was known for having streamers of questionable morality on their sites. So she kind of knows all the tricks of the trade and how it works. So I kind of took the opinion that if the FBI needs its computer system testing for hackers, they bring in the hacker. They don't just find someone like who's very well trained. They bring in someone who knows how to disrupt the system. So we've done the exact same thing. We brought in someone who knows how streamers operate, how they get fake deals, what that looks like, and how they mask it on the back office or on their Skrill or NetTeller accounts. So we've brought in her for her experience to run and work with the KYC agents and to act as a streamer manager, basically.
Right. I think, I mean, I've been following this slightly, and I know that online you've gotten some flack for launching this product by the community, and I guess it's centered a little bit around, like, again, going back to this question, you're very adamant that this is you are not generating profits from this and so on. So the question is like why? I know there's been some speculation. Like, is there anyone else who's backing this? Is it other streamers who are behind this in order to get verified? Is there other operators who are behind this? I mean, again, why are you? Because people generally assume that there is some form of reason why you're putting hours into a product like this. So can you talk about this? Like, why are you taking this product under your wing?
Absolutely. Well, so far, if it helps, our account for the bank account has zero in it. I'm paying this person's wages ourselves. We don't have any backing from streamers. We don't have any backing from casinos or game providers. Speaking to game providers, I'm going to be honest, is something we're going to do. We're going to look to see if any game provider would kind of back this as something that they want their games to be associated with, that they're not happy with kind of the way that the games are portrayed in fake streaming with these huge wins that just aren't feasible. So that is something we're going to look at doing. But no, we have no backing. We have no affiliation with anybody. We don't affiliate the site, so we have no links to casinos. The reason for doing it is it's a bit selfish in a way, because I always felt like we should do a bit more to give something back to the community as a whole. So when it comes to something like Twitch or YouTube marketing, it's pretty much like a Wild West situation. Anyone could do what they want. And it's one of the only unregulated sides of the industry that we have now. So while like even crypto casinos have some form of regulation, it's still very up in the air as to affiliation and Twitch and YouTube streaming, as to anyone can do whatever they want. So in the sense of trying to protect under 18s, in the sense of trying to stop kind of problem gambling from happening by people starting to raise their stakes because they've been watching streams that are just reckless for their bankroll. It's something I always wanted to do personally, and I would have been involved in if someone else did it. But when obviously our company had a very good year, I got the ability and the trust of my CEO to be able to build this and run it as a non-profit, because the benefit we get is we're seen to be supporting this and doing this. It might cost us 20 grand a year, but we would probably, being honest, get that back in marketing for our product, for example, for the platform, because it's associated with me and I obviously work with both. So we're happy to cover the cost, even if it makes us nothing, because it's giving back to the community for the benefit that we've had from gaming.
Right. So you're saying, so let's say that it costs 20K a year, but so you're saying that would be funded by iGaming Group, for example, and that's not you personally are putting out this 20K.
I'll do it if I have to, but it's funded at the moment by iGaming Group. So iGaming Group, who I work for, is the only backer of this product, and because we are just a platform company, there's no angle in this for us. So I mean, it's not like we can we don't have like our own casino. We're not benefiting from the data. We're not kind of achieving anything out of doing this. So this is more of a social, not experiment, but a social goodwill exercise.
So I guess for the sake of transparency and to build the integrity and for the community to believe in this product, kind of disclosing these type of details is important, right? Like the transparency and clear. Because for example, on your website, I'm not sure if it's disclosed as an example that like iGaming Group is done funding this project, right? And I guess that's where kind of the suspicion comes from. It's like who is funding this project and why? I guess that's.
Yes, I mean, because it's done by the company that obviously I help run and the company I work for, we didn't feel like we should connect it, because if we say, for example, connect and we take profit out of it at some point, say, for example, we have, I don't know, say 1,000 streamers verify in the first week and we make 100 grand, everyone's going to be like, where's that 100 grand going to? Is there there's a profit, but that's not what we're going to do. We're just going to keep the money separated. We're going to pay the agents out of it. We're going to pay Jade through my company, obviously iGaming Group, because she's hopefully going to do a bit of work for us on that side if she can. But the plan is to keep everything separate, is just for the separation, so there is no entity that benefits kind of out of it. So
are you set up as a non-profit then? Like I'm assuming there's a company structure behind this one, or? Yeah,
there's data protection and everything on the website. All of the links or everything are at the bottom of the site to explain kind of how it's set up. It's not set up as a charity because obviously if it is a non-profit like that, then anything we make goes to charity. But the problem is we're not going to make anything. So
because you did mention like if you have 1,000 verified streamer, then at some point it'll be profitable.
It's not possible. So I mean, there's not that many streamers, and also because we're doing it for free at the moment. And then even if we found, I mean, if you look at the way the money's set up, it's 100 euros for a streamer of over 250 or 500 average views per stream at one time. There's only about 20 with that amount. So there's $2,000 a year, and the wages for the staff and the site's coming up to 50K. So I don't know how we're going to make 48,000 euros a year off just verifying very small streamers. So it's basically, it's not ever going to make any money. We're hoping it might break even at best, but we're expecting it to lose 10 or 20K a year.
Yeah, cool. So let me just summarize to see if I understand this correctly. So basically, you're launching this product out of the goodness of your heart. You want the streaming community to be clean in order to fight against harmful gambling, let's say, which is caused by these fake streamers who are gambling for too much money or too much fake money, and that is kind of causing people to view it to gamble harder as well in order to kind of reach that big dream, let's say. And so that is the premise, and you are expecting this product to lose something around 20K per year, and you are prepared to take that cost yourself, again, out of the goodness of your heart. But currently, it is covered by the company that you work for, which is iGaming Group, in other words. And iGaming Group does not have any commercial interest in this product. They have no reason for push this money into the product, although they do it because, again, it is the goodness out of their heart, let's say. But at the same time, they don't want any exposure or affiliation to this product publicly either.
Yeah, because if we start affiliating it, then obviously we're running it to benefit the other company, which isn't the plan. So the plan is to, I mean, we'll accept any benefit that comes from it, but it's not the purpose. The purpose is to help in the industry. And pretty much exactly right what you said. I mean, we're doing it to be like first to do it, because it's not also just me. I mean, I was speaking to Tobias from Casino Grounds, who's expressed interest in the idea and said it was a good idea. And then Daniel from Big Win Board, who obviously did the interview with us, he asked us if we would have a chat with him. He loves the idea, and basically Big Win Board are happy to help in any way that they can. But also, just because it doesn't make money doesn't mean it's not good for us in the long run, because if the stigma around it comes down and it becomes a more legitimate source of player traffic and a legitimate source of entertainment, then obviously that's good for the industry as a whole. So everything would generally improve because of hopefully something like this. So it's more of it's an averagely well planned out idea. It might go really
like that,
wrong.
friend.
If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But I mean, it's the idea is to do something good. If people around, like people in the industry, are very kind of supportive of it. Mostly, it's the people who are on Twitter and YouTube comments that give us a lot of questions about the verification process, or if we're in partnership with like these huge streamers, like what would be the point? Because we haven't verified them, so why would?
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense if you more you think about it.
But you know how it is as well, Phil. I mean, we on our side we run iGaming Idol, right? It's an award show in the iGaming industry, and especially the first couple of years, we got
100% rigged because I didn't.
100%. Exactly. There you go. Right. And we got a lot of flack the first couple of years. I mean, the assumption is always that award shows are rigged, and that assumption is not unfounded, right? So when a new award show comes on, it's like, it's probably rigged as well, and whatever. And from our perspective, like we were very clear from the start. We had a BDO who were auditing the show and all the things. And despite all this, all the processes we put in place, we still got a lot of flack that the show was rigged from yours truly as well, obviously.
No, I didn't say that. I was joking. I even said on the podcast it wasn't rigged. I said you're probably the only good one.
All right. Well, thank you. But I mean, you back in the day, a couple of years ago, it was a different sentiment, let's say, and I appreciate that you changed your mind and stuff. But from that perspective, I mean, you can kind of understand a bit why you are getting this flack from the Twitter account, because how often do you see in the gambling industry that people are like yourself are creating these products out of the goodness out of your heart? It seems like immediately there is a red flag going up, and therefore it has to be another purpose behind it, and that's the assumption that they are making, right, without knowing. So how do you convince the community that verifiedstreamer.com is a trustable and legitimate product?
I mean, we've got the same problem as your award show. I mean, the best way for an award show to be considered legitimate is to completely open up the scoring. So, I mean, you have judges.
Need to be transparent.
Yeah, if the judges literally release either the transcript or the scoring or something, you would instantly have complete legitimacy. The problem is that you can't, because it's a bit questionable on data and what's said in an interview about companies. So you can't really let someone give away any confidential information like widely online. We have the same problem. We can't show the documents that we get sent. But the point for legitimacy is we're completely open about what the process is, apart from one step, which we can't really say, because if we say, then people will know how to beat it. But we check. I mean, I'm guessing you've had a player account. You've probably been verified on some casino somewhere. So we do very similar to that. We'll do ID, address, we'll do deposit history, casino back office. We'll check their incomings into their account to check it doesn't match with any form of casino that we know has questionable practices. And we'll check to see if the amounts kind of aren't adding up to like a fixed cost for streaming. So if someone gets sent 5K at the beginning of the month and then makes 5 1K deposits throughout the month, and there's no withdrawals coming in, that asks a lot of questions. So what we do is we're trying to be very open with the whole community, both in the iGaming and people who watch and enjoy it. If we've offered this to someone actually on on Twitter, who we said, if anyone wants to come and work with us for half a day, if 2 people want to kind of act as spokespeople on behalf of these big groups of anti-gaming, or I tried to do this, but it wasn't in the screen, anti-gaming or anti-affiliation or anti-streaming, if 2 people from there want to come in and see what we do for half a day, we would obviously sign an NDA with them, we'd sign documents with them. They can check the process that we have. They can see the tools in place. They can speak to the people. And then they would be able to leave with an actual view of what it is, not just some made up or gaming is fake opinion, because, I mean, it's not, but people don't see that because they don't get a chance to go inside of the company and see it. So we would basically invite people to come and talk to us. But
so I think, you can have, it sounds like you have a great process that is genuinely trying to verify the streamers, and then you are following up as well. I saw as well, and it's not just a one-time thing. You're actually following up to see that they are continuing to.
Yeah, we check every month.
So
we'll pick different casinos every month. So if someone's streaming on,
right.
I mean, you've got the good casinos. So Casumo's quite heavily anti-fake money. They've always been very good for streaming because they'll just give out 2 bonuses a week. But then you have the other side. So what we'll do is we'll normally just do the casino, the video slots of the big tier 1 casinos once every year. And then we're going to focus on the ones that we know might have issues. So we're going to focus on the smaller casinos, the white labels, the ones who operate out of weird licenses, that kind of thing. So we're going to basically be checking heavily the ones which could well be fake funded and kind of push most of the resources onto that. So we have a plan for different months for every time a streamer verifies.
Right, I understand. I mean, in essence, you're trying to be an authority with this service. Verified streamer should be an authority. It should be trustable, and so it sounds like you have a great process in order to identify fake versus real money streamers, and that's great. But what seems to me is lacking is the transparency and also who is auditing verified streamer. I mean, it's great that you're inviting people under an NDA to see your process, but these are individuals and they are not themselves, accredited to verify authorities, let's say. But do you have any plans to work with someone who audits you professionally, or also a regulator, perhaps like an MGA type organization or similar?
The regulation is the way we're going to try and go. So the problem is, if we just go to a regulator and say, hey, we have this idea, they don't normally get back to you. They're like, we know what we're doing. But if you come up with a system and can prove it works, so what we're doing now is a mix of proof of concept and kind of starting the actual company going. So the plan is for in Q4 this year, Q1 next year, we're going to approach all the regulators. So we're going to go to MGA, UKGC, even like Curacao, Estonia, Netherlands, Germany. We're going to say, this is what we do. Obviously, we think you should be like at least not a part of it, but endorsing it in some way, or having checked it, and you would be able to check it every year, so that it adds some credibility to kind of what they're doing on player protection as well. Because I mean, I said this when I talked to you and with Cara and the lady from Push, Fiona, there we go,
Yes.
on the thing for iGaming Next when we did it online, that regulators push responsible gaming, but they don't really push it the right way, because half of the decisions that they make are not actually pushed at responsibility, like allowing now 85% RTP on MGA casinos. That's not responsible. That's just taking all the players' money a lot faster. So for them to be able to be accredited with something that is good for responsible gaming and good for their license would actually be a good thing. So the plan is to prove that it works and then approach them and try and basically get them all on board with it as something that they kind of believe is a good thing.
Right. But it's going to take time still to set these partnerships with the regulators, and until then you are not audited, you are not checked by anyone other than potentially individuals who want to come and check out hopefully the way you work during that time.
Yeah, we're going to get audited. So we're going to basically, I'm going to try and speak to any of the big auditors around to see if this is something that they can technically do, because at the moment there's no actual money in or out of the company. So it's not like they can audit us financially, but they can audit the process. And the plan is to get that process kind of confirmed as legitimate. So it's all about giving credibility to the process of what we're doing. So if we can get a way of doing that, then we're happily on board with that. But that's where I probably need a bit of help, because that's something that I've never done before. So I'm going to speak to some people.
Yeah, I guess that's where the keys for this product lies, right? It's like you have like a great process. You know this inside out, Phil. And I mean, I know you. I know that you are legitimate, so to say. And I mean, I know that that you're doing this for the right reasons. Let's say, just from a personal point of view. But the problem is, right, that most of the people who look at this product from the outside, they look at it with suspicion.
Yeah.
When there is, especially when there's no transparency or no auditor or anyone who kind of checks you guys, the watchdogs essentially to this product. So, I mean, from my point of view, just looking at it from an outsider, that seems to be what is currently missing in the product for this to be a truly, forward-thinking, positive product which gets the whole community behind it. Because when you get the whole community behind it, that's where the magic happens, right? That's exactly. Where everyone wants to like sees this as something credible, because it doesn't get credible before all the real money streamers are verified, right? Like it's no point that you have 10% of them, because then who knows which are fake and which are real. Yeah.
So the plan is that the more that we do, the more people want to do it. So if, like, say you have half of casino grounds, for example, that's going to basically make the other half obviously have to do it because they want to be doing the same thing.
Yep.
I'm using that as an example. But the only problem that we have is it's fine to be suspicious. I would be suspicious. But if you're then shown like proof, or not proof, but if you're shown like beyond reasonable evidence that someone is real, and then someone says, no, they're fake, that's when it just gets a bit annoying, because it's people just believing what they want to believe, which becomes a problem, because then obviously that puts down the project of doing this into a negative light. But we're happy to have people come in and like work with us. We're happy to get audited. We're happy to work with regulators. We're happy to do anything people want us to do to show that it's credible, as long as at the same time, if we do all of this thing, we then get the belief that it's credible. So there's always going to be some people who will go around saying, I don't know, the world's run by 12-foot lizards, and you can't prove that anything otherwise. But I think everybody generally knows those people are crazy. So the plan is to get us onto kind of that level where it's a respected company that does exactly what it's meant to do. And then that's when the belief and obviously the snowball effect will happen. And that's when obviously the streamers will come in and we'll hopefully lose less money.
Yeah,
Please.
Right.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Exactly. Final question here, Phil. If someone else started this project instead of you, and you saw this being advertised, and you checked the website out without knowing the people who are behind it, what would your LinkedIn post say?
I mean, somebody's done it. So there's a guy that did it called Ed. He runs an affiliate kind of company. He sent me a message on Twitter, and we kind of had a conversation that started with him being a bit angry, but ended up with us like being okay. We shared some information, but because he's got an affiliate site, he's not impartial to be able to do this, because he has a benefit of verifying people, as much as he obviously wouldn't use that because he seems like a nice guy and he's not charging anybody. There is still an income by driving traffic to his site. So we don't have any income from that. So if it was done the right way, I would probably do a LinkedIn post asking a hell of a lot of questions and asking them if they'd come on a podcast and talk to me and you about it. But I think giving it the benefit of the doubt within reason is valid, but also to be probably, as I said, suspicious. But if someone was being as open as we're being, it's a lot easier to kind of start to believe them. Because it's like you and iGaming Idol. I mean, at the beginning, it was new. No one knew what you were doing, but then you're so open with it. You're like, we've got judges, we've got auditors, we've got a process where, I mean, you had over 1,000 applications this year, I think, from people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, no, nearly 2,000, almost 2,000.
And I mean, so obviously you're going to narrow them down. It's going to be an actual selection of inquiries. It's not going to be companies which have voted for themselves. It's not going to be designed by 27 judges who are judging on something that doesn't actually affect their business or any part of the job anyway. So that's the difference that you have, but you've built that over time. So that's basically what we're going to try and do as well. So the longer we build that and the more open we are, the easier it will be.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Awesome, Phil. Well, it's been interesting to hear more about this. I mean, like I said, I'm a bit of an outsider when it comes to kind of the streaming community. I'm a layman fan of like some of the streamers. I watch Casino Grounds and Casino Daddy and the others from time to time, just to not become one of the old guards. Basically, I want to I want to not lose touch, essentially.
But some of them great.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, interesting to hear. I mean, you're obviously trying to further the community and do something good here, Phil. And let's follow up here. I'm gonna follow this with interest. I like the intrigue. I like the drama that's happening in the comments. So you have a new follower for that purpose. But also at the end of the day, like you're saying, you're doing this for the right reasons. You're doing this to limit harm from gambling, and that is always going to be a good thing. So, so thank you for explaining that today, Phil. And I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you want to get a hold of Phil, obviously LinkedIn is your platform, Twitter is the platform.
And verified streamer. Even though we're not allowed to use the word verified on Twitch, so we had to put a 1 instead of the I. Because Twitch verifies the accounts, and apparently it's illegal. So it was.
All right. You learned something new through these processes.
I regret the company name now.
Fair enough. All right. Thank you so much, Phil. Take care of yourself.
Thank you so much. Cheers, Pierre.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.